Code blue on your employer health insurance. The Wall Street Journal reporting employers are considering offering bare bones skinny health care plans to avoid Obamacare penalties. With more on this, Dr. Sreedhar Potarazu, the CEO of Vital Springs Technologies. Dr. P, you say that it won't even cover your ambulance ride to the hospital. Tell me what you mean.
So I'm going to give you an example, Jerry, of how this is going to play out. Suppose that I'm an employee of a company that has taken on what's called this affordable minimum coverage on the benefits, and God forbid something happens to me. I get in a car crash. The ambulance cost, if I need surgery, and any of the hospital costs would be on my dime. The employer wouldn't cover that. And the trickier part is that if my employer still provides that minimum coverage and I try to go to the exchanges, then I'm not entitled to get the government subsidy. So I end up paying more in the exchanges. So all of these loopholes, yeah, exactly.
It's like double jeopardy. This is an unintended consequence of Obamacare, right? I mean, the reality is the way the law is written, companies that have lots of employees at low wage need an out because they're having to pay a couple of grand a pop if they're not providing some kind of coverage to them. This is the out. How so?
Because it's probably going to be cheaper to go that route for employees that don't stick around long enough, especially in those industries like, as you mentioned, the retail industry or fast food. You know, employees stay for a year and they hop around, so it doesn't make much economic sense to make the investment for some of these employers in expensive benefits. So they do the bare minimum. But the bare minimum is by no means a proxy for actually getting it and covering the things that you need.
Well, what does it mean for consumers? I mean, what does it mean for the people who will be covered by these so-called skinny plans?
You're going to end up paying more because the exchanges are going to end up costing you more if you can't get the subsidy. And if the employer opts to not pay the penalty and use this loophole, it only means that costs are going to go up, or consumers will end up showing up in the emergency room because they don't have insurance. And then, you know, I say this all the time, we're back to square one. It's the problem we were trying to solve in the first place.
Let me tell you, this is crazy. So these policies will cost about $40 to $100 per month per employee, far lower than what they would have to pay in penalties.
Far lower.
It seems to me that ultimately, though, this will put even more pressure on these insurance exchanges that the government is trying to set up.
It will put more pressure in terms of the number of people, so the costs are going to go up. The budgeted expenses right now for putting up these exchanges, you know, we've talked about this again, are not adequate for getting the exchanges. And you're going to really talk about needing enough insurance carriers in a given market to be able to provide policies that are affordable for these consumers. And unfortunately, it's going to be some of the sickest people that will end up needing the coverage that are going to find it really difficult to find it.
It's a lose-lose situation for everybody. Thank you, Obamacare. Another win for the great revolution in healthcare. Unbelievable. Dr. Potarazu, thanks for coming on tonight. Always good to see you.